Chapter number 4, The Romantic Period, page number 190. Romanticism. According to Theodore Watts Dunton, the Romantic Revival was equivalent to the Renaissance of wonder. According to Walter Pater, Romanticism means the addition of strangeness to beauty, whereas Classicism is order in beauty. Herford points put that the Romantic movement was primarily an extraordinary development of imaginative sensibility. Kazamian observes, the Romantic spirit can be defined as an accentuated predominance of emotional life, provoked or directed by the exercise of imaginative vision, and in its turn stimulating or directing such exercise. The bewildering mass of such definitions has led some critics to recommend the very abolition of terms like Romanticism and Classicism altogether. Let us quote one such critic. I ask you to distrust the familiar labels classical, neoclassical, pseudo-classical, pre-romantic and all the others. I sometimes doubt if we shall ever understand the poetry of this century, the 18th century, till we get rid of them. The terms classical and romantic in one and all of their forms. Johnson, Coleridge and Hazlitt, perhaps our three greatest critics, did not find the need of them, nor should we likewise. F. L. Lucas finds romanticism a wholly woolly term fit only for slaughter. Nevertheless, these terms have been retained in criticism because they are useful even if not actually definable. The term Romanticism has been variously defined by various writers. Pater, for example, calls it the addition of strangeness to beauty, and Watts Dunton defines it as the Renaissance of wonder. Goethe, the German poet-critic, contrasts Romanticism with Classicism and says, Romanticism is a disease, Classicism is health. He thus emphasizes the imperfections and the incompleteness of Romantic art. Abercrombie, on the other hand, stresses the subjective element of Romanticism and writes, Romanticism is a withdrawal from outer experience to concentrate upon inner experience. He points out that vagueness, indefiniteness, and a tendency to disregard reality are essential elements of the Romantic. Haynes, Beers and Phelps define it as the reawakening of the Middle Ages. Victor Hugo considers the democratic spirit as the most significant aspect of Romantic art and describes it as liberalism in literature. Herford calls it extraordinary development of imaginative sensibility. Legua and Kazamian emphasize both the emotional and imaginative aspects of Romanticism, and call it an accentuated predominance of emotional life, provoked and directed by the exercise of imaginative vision. All such definitions are, however, unsatisfactory and partial, for they they emphasize one or other element of this type of literature instead of giving a composite view. It would therefore be more profitable to consider the salient features of English Romanticism instead of trying to define it in concrete terms. The chief characteristic of Romanticism is, in England, are a. Subjectivity. All romantic literature is subjective. It is an expression of the inner urges of the soul of the artist. The poet does not care for rules and regulations, but gives free expression to his emotions. It is an emancipation of the individual soul from the bondage of custom. Emphasis is laid on inspiration and intuition rather than on the observance of set rules. End of page 190, now page 191. The poet writes according to his own fancy and is often guilty of wild excesses. Romantic poetry is fanciful, introspective, and is often marked by extravagance. Hence, it has been criticized as irregular and wild. As the poet is free to write on any theme and in any form he likes, we have the immense variety of romantic poetry. B. Spontaneity. Romantic poetry is spontaneous overflow of powerful passions. The romantic poet is gifted with a strong organic sensibility. He feels more than there is to feel, and sees more than there is to see. Every ordinary objects, even ordinary objects and incidents, incite his imagination and set up in him powerful passions. When the mood is on him, that is, when he is so excited, he sings to strains of unpremeditated art. He cannot write to wonder. Poetry for him is not craft but inspiration. Carried away by his powerful passions and excited imagination, the poet does not care for the perfection of form or clarity of expression. The result is much vagueness and obscurity. Substance is more important for him than the form. C. Love of the supernatural. The romantic is extraordinarily alive to the wonder, mystery, and beauty of the universe. He feels the presence of unseen powers in nature. This unseen transcendental world is more real for him than the world of the senses. The supernatural has a special charm for him. He is attracted by the stories of fairies, ghosts, and witchcraft. His story is an expression of his wonder and witchcraft. His poetry is an expression of his wonder of the magic and mystery of the universe. Supernaturalism is an important element in romantic inspiration. Then how often does his poetry mythical and removed from the everyday experience of life? This often makes his poetry mystical and removes The experience removes all difficulties every day from the experiences of life. D. Melancholy, a romantic and dismal individual. Melancholy, a romantic is a dissatisfied individual. He may be dissatisfied with the circumstances of his own life, with his age, with the literary conventions and traditions of the day, or with the general fate of humanity. Romantic poetry is therefore often pessimistic in tone. A romantic may revolt against the existing conditions and may seek to reform them, or he may try to escape into an imaginative world of his own creation. Often he escapes into the past. The Middle Ages have a special fascination for him, for they not only provide him with an escape from the sordid realities of the present, but also delight his heart by their color, pageantry, and music. The remote, the distant, and the unknown delight him for this very reason. While some may escape into the past, the world of classical antiquity of the Middle Ages, others may dream of a better and happier world to come and build utopias of the future. They may see visions of a golden age and sing to it in their poetry. Revolutionary idealism characterizes much of the romantic poetry. When much of this symmetry, the visionary is tone. Much of its visionary is in tone. In short, the romantics look long before and after, and pine for what is not.